I overheard my mom ask my wife, "How was your date, dear? Is he a better lover than my useless son?" My wife responded, "Yes, Mom, and thank you for introducing us." Start. I hadn't meant to catch their conversation. I was just passing the living room on my way to grab a glass of water. But when I heard my mother's low, conspiratorial tone, I froze. "How was your date, dear? Is he a better lover than my useless son?" The glass in my hand wobbled. It didn't break, just shook. Then my wife of 4 years, chuckled softly. "Yes, Mom. Much better. And thank you for arranging it." My throat tightened. My heart didn't shatter, it hardened. I lingered in the shadows, watching them reflected in the mirror across the hallway. 2 women, one who gave me life, the other who promised to share it, both grinning at my humiliation. I didn't confront them. I didn't storm in. I simply turned and walked back to the bedroom. That was when it began. The quiet, calculated unraveling of everything they thought they controlled. My wife, Laura, used to say, "You're too calm for your own good. You never react," she'd tease, even when people hurt me. She saw it as weakness. It wasn't. Growing up with my mother taught me that silence cuts the deepest. She trained me to absorb her moods, her critiques, her manipulations, her endless comparisons to my father, who left when I was 12. "You're too soft," she'd sneer. Just like him. No wonder he ran off. I used to believe her. I doubled down, worked twice as hard to prove her wrong. Became the responsible one. Bought her a house when she couldn't pay her bills. And when Laura entered my life, sweet, warm, attentive, it felt like proof I had escaped my mother's orbit. But she always found a way to creep into my happiness, twisting it into something ugly. I never thought she'd drag my wife into it. In hindsight, the signs were there: hushed phone calls that ended when I entered the room, sudden, overly long trips to see my mom, perfume on Laura's clothes that wasn't hers or mine. I told myself it was stress, work, paranoia. But that night, after hearing them, I didn't confront her. I didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me hurt. Instead, I smiled at breakfast the next morning, kissed her cheek, told her I might be working late. Then, I began planning. First, I set up cameras, one in the living room, one in the bedroom. Hidden, silent observers. Within a week, I had hours of footage, my wife bringing a man into our bed. The same man my mother had introduced her to at her book club. I watched her laugh, watched him strip, watched her unravel in the same sheets we once shared. Each clip didn't fuel anger, it sharpened resolve. I opened a new account under my business, gradually transferring our joint savings. She never noticed. I also met a lawyer, a quiet man with a forgettable face. I handed him the footage, financial records, and one simple order: prepare a clean exit. Divorce papers, asset transfers, all perfectly timed. Then came the final touch, the gift. Not dramatic, no bombs, no poison. I'm not that man. My revenge was quiet, cold, and permanent. Laura had severe allergies, things only I knew in detail. Latex, certain floral scents. She kept it hidden, not wanting to seem fragile. Before leaving, I placed a small envelope in our bed. Inside, a single rose petal soaked in a perfume she loved but couldn't tolerate. She'd think it a romantic gesture from her lover. She'd want to impress him. When the reaction hit, it wouldn't kill her, just inflame her skin, leaving visible reminders of the night she betrayed me. Cruel, perhaps, but legal. Enough to make her remember. I left that night quietly. No note, no confrontation, just my suitcase and my composure. A week later, my mother called, voice trembling. "How could you do that to her? I didn't raise you like this." I almost laughed. "Like what?" I asked. "Like a monster. She's in the hospital, her face. God, her face. You villain, just like your father." That part made me smile. "My father left because of you," I said. "Now you live with the same emptiness he escaped." Then I hung up. In the following weeks, I moved cities, changed my number, transferred the business entirely to my name. Laura tried calling, new number, unknown ID. I never answered. My mother sent guilt-filled emails, desperate apologies, accusations. I ignored them too, though I had a friend watch for me. I learned Laura moved back in with her. The man she cheated with vanished when he saw the damage. And my mother, always obsessed with appearances, couldn't handle the whispers or the judgment. They became each other's prison, two women bound by contempt and consequence. And me. I slept better than I had in years. Sometimes, late at night, I replay that moment, my mother's question, my wife's laughter, my stillness in the hallway. That was when I stopped being their son, their husband, their fool. It wasn't revenge that satisfied me, it was control. The power to end a cycle silently, without blood, without theatrics. They thought I was the quiet, forgettable one. But I learned what my father never did: sometimes the best victory isn't to fight back, it's to let them choke on their own choices. Now, when I see myself in the mirror, I don't see my father or mother. I see clarity. Betrayal doesn't destroy you, it defines you. And I chose what it defined me as: not a victim, not a villain, just a man who finally stopped loving the wrong people. That, I suppose, was the real gift I left behind.